YouTubers, and welcome to the channel, PJ Ground Pounder. Thanks for rejoining the channel again. And again, if you like the content and you appreciate what I'm putting out, please like and subscribe to the channel. We very much appreciate it. So we'll get into my view and what I thought. And, my thought was ground pounding compared to Yonder. And then after considering to do this, and what made me make the video actually is because I had it all wrong. And I thought they both had two different meanings. And they don't have two different meanings. They are the same thing. The only difference is the regions in which the names originated and how we use the names in our club to this day. So what happened with me was in 2015, we took an all chapter run. And during that run, we rode from sun up to sundown. Sometimes we rode in the night. And but we slept every night at a hotel. We had a hot meal. We had all of that. And we moseyed on across and we did the all chapter run. And so when I got home from that, I was showing my eagerness to want to do it again. I wanted to get right back on my bike and do it again. And I was introduced to Highway Smalley by one of my club brothers. And we started having conversations, exchanged numbers, and we were talking about riding, and I was just, asking him a lot of questions, learning a lot about ground pounding from him, and what was the expectations and how was it done, and just all of that. It was just, my whole opinion was formed around him when it came to ground pounding. And then he had introduced me to Reef, and Reef started teaching me a lot of stuff and helping me out as far as mapping and spot waller and the Iron Butt Challenge. So immediately after I came back from the all chapter run is when I met Smalley and I met Reef. And I was so juiced up about, riding across country. How's it done? What do you guys call ground pounding? What all, just asking all the questions, because I knew that was my lane and it was something that I wanted to get into, but I wanted to do it in the fashion that everybody else is doing it in. So I started my journey at that point. And then that's the first time I went to Alaska. And I started doing all kind of different runs, different solo runs. And they were all done in the fashion in which them two individuals had taught me, because Iron Butt is like you're on it. It's a time trial. You're going up. I remember one challenge I did. I went up to Seattle, turned around, came right back home. I think I did it 36 hours, something. I forget what that certificate was. But I was always in that riding form. And then Smalley had always was training me like, hey, we don't do hotels and we don't do that kind of stuff. When we get out there on the road, we might sleep at a rest stop. We're taking showers at truck stops. So that's kind of how I was acclimated into riding long distance. It had nothing to do with hotels and lounging and hot meals and all that. So people to this day laugh at me. They like, yeah, PJ traveled. All he got is some trail mix in his pocket and all of that. But you guys can attribute that to Smalley and Reef. That's kind of how, I learned how to do this in this fashion that I do it in. So that was what I know. It's like, I guess if you develop a golf swing, if you're a golfer, it's kind of hard to break that style. So anyway, I associated all of that to ground pounding, and that's what I thought ground pounding was. And for some reason, in my mind, I thought Yonda was what we did when I took the trip in 2015. and we rode to the south, and where we took breaks and we slept, and then we woke up in the morning, then we rode another day, then we went to bed at night, and we had a hot meal and all of that. I was like, now that's what Yonda, I thought I knew what I was talking about, man. I was like, that now that's what Yonda is. So it's a difference. I used to be on the road with certain people and I'd be like, you know, it's a difference between ground pounder and Yonda. You know, it's a difference. Nobody really engaged me on the conversation, but I really wish they would have. But, you know, a year or two later, I found out the truth and what the difference was between the two. And then just recently, I did a little more research on just how it actually started. But I thought Yonda was more of a mellow trip, you know, ride all day, sleep at night, hot meal, shower, sleep in a comfortable bed. That's what I thought. And I thought ground pounding was aggressive. You know, that iron butt stuff. You know, you running across country, iron butt style. You know, you got to get here to there. And, you know, so in my mind, that's what I do. And I did it because I thought that's what the program was. So that's just the way I developed my writing style. It just drew a picture in my mind that ground pounding was getting from point A to point B. You're not getting motels, hotels. You're gassing and going. And so really there's no difference, but this is my take on it. And I don't think it should be this way or it has to be this way or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my personal thoughts on the situation. So when you guys look at me and say, you know, I wonder what PJ's thinking when he's out there on the road. Why does he ride like this? What point is he trying to prove? Or, you know what I mean? He gonna kill himself or whatever you might say. I don't know. But I practiced and I trained from the beginning to do what I'm doing now. So, but anyway, the point is this. As I digress, in my head, to me, ground pounding is levels to ground pounding. And everybody, there's levels to everything we do. So that's where my take comes in. My take is all about the levels. It's not about the name. It's not about ground pounding versus Yonda. It's all about, mine is about levels. So I think there's certain levels. Are you the type of ground pounder that when you do ground pound, you know, running across country, doing long distance trips, do you need somebody to navigate that for you? Do you need somebody to map it out? Do you need somebody to help you calculate your gas stops? Do you need someone to help you understand the weather conditions that you're going to run into? There's level of equipment too that we ride with. You can ride across with somebody that can probably navigate and do everything else, but their gear, not to say it take them out the game, but their gear might be different. Maybe they're at a level where they just ride with a poncho on and they ride with non-waterproof boots and a pair of jeans, and you know, and they get to wherever they're going and they're soaking wet. Or you're riding with the person that weather conditions might change and they don't have a heated suit, and now you're riding with them and they're freezing. So there's different levels, and that's the only thing I take a look at these days when I'm riding with other people. At what level is your riding gear? What level is your riding style? And also your equipment, your motorcycle. Do you have a cross-country motorcycle for real? Has it been maintained? Is it taken care of? Are you ready for the trip? I've been on a trip where people aren't even medically ready for the trip. Sometimes people aren't financially ready for the trip. So when I speak on levels, that's what I'm talking about. And I think there's levels We need to understand the levels, and then you can better understand when you're out there riding on the road with somebody what they might go through and what you might have to put up with, or what it might be vice versa. Maybe you might be riding at a lower level than that person, and then they drag you across. But all of that stuff is dangerous in itself. So that's why I think levels are so important. And if you're at a higher level than someone, I think you should educate them and let them know, hey, my whole thing is just levels, and you need to try to pair up so that your ride can be a lot smoother. So that's pretty much how that goes. So again, like levels is, what level are you at in your riding style? How far can you ride per ride? What is your limit? Is it sun up, sun down? Could you ride nighttime if you had to? Can you start at night and ride all day? So it's a level of that. When do you leave? How long you ride? What level is your gear at? When it gets 32 degrees and you need to ride in that all day, are you going to be okay with that? Do you have the proper gear to ride in 32 all day? Can you handle it? Is your bike equipped? Are your tires the right tire for your bike? Or are your tires inflated right? Is your bike been well maintained? Is it up for the trip? Is it going to break 12 miles in the trip? I found out, things do happen to your motorcycle, and things will happen to your motorcycle. But a lot of things that are going to happen, the majority of the things are going to happen. If you're paying attention to your scooter, you can prevent it. You know what I mean? You just don't get halfway down the highway and figure out, oh man, my brakes is metal to metal. Or get down the highway, oh man, my tire is bad. It just don't happen. If you was paying attention, that wouldn't happen. So that's why I'm saying different levels. And then even on the mechanical side of it, what if your windshield on your fairing is loose? Do you have to wait till you get to Harley Davidson and get it tightened up? Or can you just go over to the side to your saddlebag, grab the proper tool out of there, because you have your tools, your oil, everything over there? Are you a rider that rides with all your equipment? Do you ride down the road with a couple of quarts of oil? Every tool just about you need for your motorcycle? Do you have extra gloves and all of that? So it's levels to that. Some people get out on the road with the bare minimums. Some are in between, and some are ready to go. And I always prided myself on that. I always kept my bike super prepared in case somebody would challenge me and say, hey man, let's ride here. You say you do all the riding, let's ride over here, let's go here. So I always try to stay prepared. If somebody want to put in a thou while we're quick and flip it, I always say, okay, is my gear right? Is my bike right? Can I just take that challenge? So that's just been a kind of personal thing for me. But that's levels, and I hope what I've shared today is kind of insightful for you all. Safe travels to everybody out there. Thank you for watching the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like the content that you're getting, please subscribe to the channel and let me know, and push a like. And until then, we'll see you next time.
For tips, motivation, or just inspiration, subscribe to my channel, PJ Ground Pounders. Let's get prepared and ride.